calling this meeting to order of the Major Crash Task Force. We're meeting at 2:41 on Wednesday, April 28th, remotely via WebEx. Looking at who is on the call, we have a quorum, which is at least 4 of 7 of our voting member agencies represented. And we have the PAC, DMV, MPD, DDOT, the MAC, Office of Planning, all represented. We circulated last month's minutes for March for everyone's review. And if everyone has reviewed them, is there a motion to approve the March minutes?
This is Eileen. I'll move to approve.
Anyone second?
I'll second that.
Okay, that was Linda. So we'll just do a roll call vote. Linda Bailey, DDOT.
Aye.
Kristen Calkins, OP.
I think I have to abstain because I wasn't at the last meeting.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And Eileen McCarthy with the PAC.
Aye.
And then Helen Urquhart with the MAC.
Aye. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay, so the minutes are approved. Okay, is there any other new business anyone wants to discuss?
I hate to be that person, but I don't think 3 aye votes actually approves those minutes.
Was it only 3?
Mac, PAC, and DDOT.
Good looking out. Okay, so we'll have to.
I vote aye.
No, I think
that was Bridget too, right?
Oh, Bridget here's okay, great.
Was.
Sorry.
Yeah, plus, I think you can count Kristen as present for purposes of, how many votes you need. In other words, there'd be, X many votes and she's an abstain. And
Okay. So then we did approve them though with Bridget?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, with
Okay.
Bridget that would make 4.
Hooray. Thanks for everyone's help. Yeah.
You get to vote? Jonathan, you don't get to vote?
No, I'm the secretary, so
Okay.
I am not a voting member. Yeah, is there any other business anyone wants to bring up before we talk about going into a closed session? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to enter a closed session?
I'll move first and move into a closed section.
Okay, and I think Helen was also motioning to that effect, so that can be our second. And we do another roll call vote. Is Sergeant Thorne on the line for MPD?
I don't think so.
Okay, not yet. So
Yeah,
Linda
not
Bailey,
yet,
DDOT.
Aye.
Okay. Bridget Anderson, DMV.
Aye.
Kristen Calkins, OP.
Aye.
Eileen McCarthy, PAC.
Aye.
And Helen Urquhart, MAC.
Aye.
Okay, so we will move into a closed session. The reason we're doing that is because we will specifically discuss the details of major crashes, which contain personally identifiable information and other sensitive material. And speaking about that information during an open session is so personal and graphic that it would violate the personal privacy interests of the people involved. So we will move to the closed session. Back in the open session, just as a reminder, we entered a closed session to protect the personal privacy interests of the people involved in the crashes we reviewed. is there any other items anyone would like to discuss while we're back in open session?
Well, MPD's gone, so I don't know. Do you want to talk about looking for a better way to decide what cases we're going to review, or do you want to have a separate conversation with them, or?
That's definitely a worthwhile topic. Just for the group, Eileen and I had, been talking about trying to, maybe instead of the week before or what have you, deciding on which cases we'd review and then trying to circulate them to the group with as much time, much notice as possible. Maybe doing a just more planning ahead and maybe a month's worth of uh, a month ahead of time or something. We know the next couple meetings which cases we'll review, so that's kind of the concept that we'll see if that's workable for MPD, assuming that there are sufficient cases that are reviewable.
Yeah, well, it's like I know we did 2020 cases today, and I told Jonathan this. The downside of that is that I've learned to use FARs, and I do use FARs now to sort of supplement and to get information that ahead of time, so I don't necessarily have to ask MPD about sort of the minor details about the VIN and all that. But 2020 for FARs isn't out yet, so I can't do that with the 2020 cases. I also know that we have, there are two crashes that I know or should be ready for review from 2019 that we haven't done. One's the Dave Salavesh crash, and the other one is the crash the same weekend down in Southeast, where the pedestrian on the sidewalk was killed. And I'm also kind of generally concerned that we're not being very methodical about this. So I'd sort of like us to be more methodical, and like either one idea is to group by sort of the nature of the crash, like do a bunch of environment related crashes on the same day, or a group by place. So if we have, a bunch of closed North Capitol crashes, do all of those and look at them, together, or Suitland Parkway. Or if we can't do that, to just make sure we're going through in order and getting everything that's been closed before we jump to recent cases. Anyway, that's just, So one of my thoughts was that if I could do this, or DDOT could, or Jonathan could, would be to just go through with MPD with the, I have a fairly good spreadsheet for 2017 to 19, and just figure out the status of the cases that we haven't reviewed, figure out which ones could be reviewed. And then we could, as a group, look at the cases that we know are closed and ready for review, and decide how we want to do them.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense than kind of the somewhat random method we've been using. And there isn't, it's a fairly manageable list of the past cases that we haven't reviewed yet, so
Right.
we're not like that far behind.
Right. But I think we're fairly far behind in 2019. I think 2017 we're probably almost done. In 2019 we are. And then the other thing, I think I've mentioned this before, is in theory we're supposed to look at all the critical injury crashes too, and obviously we did do one today. And they're not as serious as the fatal ones. So, we correctly give them lesser priority, but what I have been wondering is if there's a way for us to do a more cursory review of those, like just a paper review, if we could convince MPD to share something with us, or even just with DDOT. If they don't want to, share their paperwork, and DDOT could, summarize, and I don't know. Anyway, that's a lesser issue.
Yeah, but that sounds like it should be possible. And like ultimately would achieve our goal, but also save some time.
Right.
Because instead of just plodding through it on here, we would, get get covered what we could ahead of time. So yeah, maybe we can,
I'll support that.
in between meetings, we can propose some of that to MPD.
Yeah. Sounds good. Do others have any thoughts about how they would like to be doing this? Bridget or Kristen or Helen?